clients often struggle with ways to find the right software development partner. And I will offer my ways, my strategies, because before starting KPN Development Partners, I also was on the other side hiring software development vendors and working with clients now in this capacity also gave me insights into what they look for and what they need to make the decision. So I came up with 5 principles that I felt would be easy to remember, easy to apply, and here we go. Number 1 would be what not to do, which is do not ask for an hourly rate. Hourly rate is a very misleading piece of information. Vendors that are less honest will use that information to lower their perceived cost, and it will certainly not help you in determining the overall cost or final cost of the project, because hourly rate cannot determine that. And then you can take the hourly rate for one vendor and another and artificially compare the two, but you're comparing apples and oranges. It doesn't work. So instead of doing that, you have to understand what the total cost of a project is. And for that, you also need information such as total number of hours, the length of time of the project. And very few vendors will commit to fixed number of hours if they offer you an hourly rate. So that's number 1. Number 2, instead, first thing to find out is about the quality of their work. Quality not just about the product they develop, but quality of their communication, quality of their people, quality of their processes, right? So you'll have to find out a lot more, because you're getting into this with the idea of creating a relationship, long-term relationship, and you want to have a quality relationship with the vendor for the long term. These are the things you need to find out. So again, nothing to do with price or cost, but the quality, because quality will tell you a lot more than, say, the hourly rate. Third, ask some of their existing clients if they got more value than they paid for, or at least if they perceive that they got more value than they paid for. Because we want our vendors to go above and beyond, and especially if you want to create a relationship, a long-term relationship, we want to get and feel like we're getting more than we're paying for. That is the ultimate goal. And if their clients are saying that they are so happy with them that they got more than they paid for, or more than they'd expected, that's a great sign. That's the kind of vendor you're going to work with. Number 4, ask the vendor if you can speak with some of their staff, people, developers, their managers, anybody who would be interacting with you or working with you on a daily basis, right? Because you want to find out who these people are. If you're going into the relationship with them, might as well know who you're going to be dealing with for long term. You need to know whether you can work with these people, what their communication styles are, how they respond to you, and all of this can be found out through a meeting or a call, or some face-to-face. If you can't be face-to-face, at least some video conferencing, right? So find it out. And number 5, this is the most challenging one for many vendors, but the one that will really distinguish the cream of the crop from the rest. Ask a vendor, and there's some caveats here, but I will say it. Ask a vendor if they would offer you a fixed cost project for a fixed scope, right? And this best applies to smaller to medium-sized projects, and also it does not apply to research type of projects where, say, every month the goals or scope will be reset, right? So those projects would be excluded from this particular principle. Everything else where scope is known to some extent or to a greater extent, projects are shorter in duration and size. This is a good way to find out how confident the vendor is, how willing they are to work with you, and how much thought and effort are they putting in understanding what they're dealing with, because you don't want a vendor to just get into a relationship with you and commit to doing work or overcommit to doing the work without really understanding the work. Vendor that can guarantee the price is the vendor who took the time to understand your scope, to prepare for delivery, to understand their capabilities and how they match with your scope. And if they're so confident to give you the fixed cost project, to guarantee you a fixed cost, that's the vendor that I would seriously consider working with.